Hi, I'm Madeleine Davis. I'm your host for the Stress-Free Mom Summit. I'm also the creator of the 28-Day Stress-Free Family System and the author of the #1 best-selling book, A Stress-Free Family, Chaos to Calm in Only 28 Days. And as most of you know, I help overwhelmed moms just like you create a well-functioning, stress-free home you could feel really good about raising your kids in, so that you could be the relaxed, confident mom that you really want to be, knowing that you're providing your kids with a really strong foundation and that you're setting them up for success in the real world. I believe that once you're a mother, you are always a mother first, meaning that you could find the cure for cancer, eradicate AIDS, fly a spaceship to Mars, or be the president of the United States. But if you don't have it nailed down at home, your home is in chaos, and you don't think that you're doing a good job as a mom, nothing else matters. Because when you put your head down on your pillow at the end of the day, if you don't feel like you did a good job as a mom, you could have just won the Nobel Peace Prize, but you're still going to feel like you failed. As moms, knowing that we're doing a good job as a mom, that we're giving our kids a great foundation and setting them up for success in the real world, that is integral to our very being. And that's what I specialize in, working on that foundation. Now, most moms I know want to have a stress-free family. That's why you're here, right? You're maybe overwhelmed with the day-to-day parenting, or you're nagging your kids all the time because they're just not listening to you. Or maybe you're just plain exhausted dealing with all those energy-draining communications and interactions with your child. So maybe some of you know that you need to up your game regarding routines or rules and rewards and consequences at home. Or maybe you just want to feel really good about being a mom and really enjoy the day-to-day parenting stuff. Here's what I know. Most moms that are in the thick of it, on some level, they don't really believe that they can actually have a stress-free family. And maybe there's some part of you right now that is thinking just that. And just so that you know, that's what I used to think. Over 10 years ago, my kids were almost 3, 4, and 6 years old. My home was in complete chaos. Me, I was nagging, yelling, and punishing them all the time. Night times were a nightmare, and our mornings were a scrambling mess. Every single day, somebody forgot something at home that they needed for school. And I'd have to stop whatever I was doing and bring it to them. Lunch, homework, sneakers for gym, whatever. We were living in constant chaos and stress. And one day was running into the next, and I was barely functioning, overwhelmed, exhausted, and just emotionally drained. It was so bad for me. I was living in such a mental fog that one morning, I actually wore 2 different shoes to walk my 3 kids to school. That's how bad it was. I didn't want to raise my kids in a stressed out, dysfunctional home. I wanted to raise my kids in a happy, high-functioning home. I wanted to be relaxed, confidently knowing that I was giving my kids a great foundation and developing a strong relationship with them as they got older. So I decided to create a system that would allow me to create the stress-free family that I really wanted. And that's what I want for you. And this is something that you want to get handled right now, because having a stress-free family is like giving yourself and your family a gift, really, because creating a home that is calm, relaxed, and peaceful sets the tone. It sets the stage for a calm, relaxed, peaceful relationship with your kids. When you have your home life nailed down and you don't have to constantly be nagging them and dealing with all of the repetitive, argumentative pushback, when you're not bogged down with all those overwhelming feelings, well, when you don't have that, what you do have is you're creating a space for talking about the real stuff of life, their hopes, fears, dreams, and challenges. Because your kids may be little now, but they grow up really fast. You blink and they're teenagers. And teenagers don't like to talk. And if you don't build these strong foundations now, what happens is things get really hard. Little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems, right? So living with teenagers doesn't have to be contentious and disrespectful. You want to exercise those relationship building skills now while they're still young, while you still have their focus and attention. And I didn't realize this 10 years ago, just how much the system would transform our lives, how big the impact would be. But what I learned was that even though I created a system in my home to calm the chaos, What I really created was a way to transform the future of my family, because the road we were headed down, that wasn't going to lead to a good place. But what I did when I removed this stress was lay down the foundation for a calm, relaxed, peaceful family. And because that's what they got used to, instead of chaos and yelling as they grew up and became teenagers, which is what I have now, my teenagers got used to days that are effortless and easy, relaxed mornings, rules that are consistent, parenting that is consistent. And if you're battling with your kids now, dealing with pushback and negotiation, if they aren't heeding what you tell them to do, if you're yelling at them, what's going to be in a few years? You're just going to both be used to more of that. But if you start now putting these pieces in place, you are laying the groundwork. You are building that bridge. You are creating a foundation that allows your kids to feel safe and feel confident that they can come to you and have those difficult conversations when they come up later. And of course, there are so many other benefits of having a stress-free family, because when you get control of the stress in your family, when your family is relaxed and calm and functioning well, when everybody knows what to do and when to do it, you're going to be absolutely amazed at what it does for all the other areas of your life. The amount of energy you will have when you get rid of all those energy draining interactions and communications is unbelievable. So as I walk you through the 5 parts or pillars of the stress-free family system, here's what I want you to think about. How much stress are each of these 5 areas causing you right now? Because when you take care of them, that's the amount of stress in your family that's going to go away. How does that sound? So, for example, if you had your routines nailed down at home, if your kids knew exactly what to do and when without you telling them to do it, without you having to remind them over and over again, if their routines were handled without nagging, without pushback, without forgetting things at home, the baths, the homework, the mornings, the nighttime, all of it, in terms of a percentage, how much stress would that alleviate in your home? Would you agree that having your routines nailed down at home would reduce the stress in your home by at least 20%? Now, what about rules? What if you had rules that were aligned with your principles and values? Rules that really resonated with you, that you could get behind. Rules for you, rules for your home, and for your kids that they wanted to follow and that were meaningful from a bigger perspective, that taught them bigger picture lessons. What do you think about that? If you're like most moms, you're probably winging it now and you don't have rules, or you're making them up all the time as you go. Or if you're being inconsistent with the rules, these are all big contributors to stress at home, right? So would having rock solid rules customized for your family that everybody knows about and can get behind and is held accountable for, would that reduce the stress in your home by another 20%? Definitely. That makes sense, right? So you can see that just by handling the routines and the rules in your home, it is possible to cut the stress in your home by almost half. And that's how the system works. We focus on one pillar at a time and systematically reduce the stress associated with it. That makes sense, right? We focus on each of these areas and find solutions for each of them. So let's go through the 5 parts in order so that you have them. So number 1 is routines. This is absolutely essential. You cannot have a stress-free home until your kids have their routines down. It's just not possible. If you're getting pushed back at bedtime, if your kids are late to school, if they're forgetting stuff at home that they need, getting them to do homework or take a bath is a struggle. These are all signs that your routines are not working. So when you think about routines, forget those free downloads. Don't even waste your time. What you need to do is to start by identifying when your child transitions in their day. Think about when your child goes to school. When they get to school, that's a transition. When they go to a different classroom, that's also a transition. When they go to lunch, that's a transition. You get the idea, right? Each transition needs a separate routine. A routine is a series of steps done in a specific order that your child follows every time. And that reduces a lot of stress in their day and yours. Now, I believe in order for routines to be effective, you want to implement rhythms, which is step 2. That's my secret sauce. Nobody is teaching this. Rhythms are the solutions to the recurring challenges that show up in your day-to-day that get you off track. So these are the hiccups and speed bumps that need to be identified and processes need to be created. Because even homes that have perfectly good routines will find that without implementing rhythms, they will still have to deal with spontaneous havoc. And we don't want that. To create rhythms, you must identify all those speed bumps in your day and create a process for handling them. This way, you can eliminate as many opportunities as possible for havoc to creep in. Creating rhythms takes care of that for us. I like to say if routines makes your life easy, rhythms make it effortless. And easy and effortless sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So you want to identify these situations and create processes that are simple, repeatable, and sustainable. So the third step in the formula is rules. Again, maybe you have some, maybe you don't. Maybe you have some, but you're inconsistent. For my stress-free moms, I teach the rules trifecta. That is, rules for you, for your family, and for your home. That makes sense. That are tied to the bigger picture of what you want to teach your child and that they will follow. If they're leaving their stuff all over the place, their toys all over the place, talking back, using language that you don't want, basic general misbehavior, those rules are not working. You want to get your kids to follow the rules. And although you may be thinking that the primary reason you want your kids to put their toys away or put away their clothes is that you don't want to have a messy house, there's a bigger picture happening and a bigger opportunity here. An opportunity to build our children's character by basing your rules on principles and values that are going to stay with them for the rest of their life. So what I teach and what I want you to think about today is to identify what core values you want to drive home and use them to weave into the everyday conversations. Make the rules about behaviors and then speak to the core values that you want to instill in your children. So a simple rule about cleaning up the toys can really be about independence, cleanliness, or gratitude. In this way, you're using their behavior as teaching moments. Doesn't that sound great? Okay, so step 4 of the formula. You need to have a system of rewards and consequences, one that will motivate your child to do what they're supposed to be doing and even more. Now, I teach a benchmark system to the moms that I work with, and I encourage you to do that as well, meaning that rewards are tied to whether they meet or exceed expectations that you've set for them. The important thing to focus on here is that you create rewards and consequences that make sense for your children, that is personalized for your unique family. And remember, what I'm talking about is creating a system, which means that all of these parts need to be complete and integrated in order to work. So imagine the parts of a car in an assembly line. You might see a completed engine, right? All of the parts of the engine are there. It's a perfectly fine working engine, but it doesn't matter because it's completely not functional until it's integrated into the other parts of the car, right? Until it's actually assembled. Each of the parts of the car must be completed first and then integrated. And this is one of the biggest factors in why most homes still have stress, what I call a home in habit. Because even homes that have perfectly good, effective, optimized routines that their kids follow or amazing rules that are tied to their principles and values, it's still not going to work because their home is not functioning like a well-oiled machine. It's still like the parts of the car on the assembly line. You need all of the parts completed first, and then you need to integrate them. And that's the secret of a well-functioning home. No one is teaching this. This is why most moms find their lives so stressful and out of control. So what you want to do is to make sure that your routines, your rhythms, and your rules are tied to your rewards. But so far, I've only given you 4 steps, right? So the last pillar of the stress-free family formula is step 5. You need to get your kids on board. You need to have a way to communicate with them to get them to buy into the system and stay consistent with it, to follow through. Because you could have the best routines in the world, the most amazing rules on the planet. You could have a reward system that is completely on point. But if you don't get your kids on board to want to follow the routines, rules, and reward system, none of it's going to matter, right? This is one of the biggest problems I see. Moms work so hard at trying to make their home function properly and trying to put routines in at home and trying to implement rules and trying all kinds of reward systems. but then they don't know how to get their kids to do them, to follow through. So in my program, the Stress-Free Family System, I call this part revolutionize, because it's when everything really starts to come together and we see the real transformation in your family. Once you have your kids on board and wanting to work the system, you're on easy street. And here's how I suggest that you do that. I've already given you the framework for this, the formula. And at the end of this training, I'm going to invite you to take the next step and see if the Stress-Free Family System is your best next step. But if you want to do this on your own, I'm giving you the blueprint. So you'll have the roadmap to follow, just like I walked you through the 5 steps of the formula. Step by step, you're going to need to tackle each of the 5 steps in order. Either on your own or with my system, you're going to need to complete your routines, rhythms, rules, and rewards. Decide what all of those will be. You'll create effective routines, map out processes that become rhythms, identify rules that are tied to your principles and values, and design a reward system that motivates your child to meet and exceed expectations. Now, here's how I teach it in the Stress-Free Family System. We do not tell the kids that we are doing anything different at home until the very end, when we get to revolutionize. We literally keep the entire thing a secret from them. We don't want them to give us any pushback. So that's what I'm going to suggest that you do too. So if you're doing it on your own at home, once you've completed working on these 5 parts, without telling your kids that you're creating a system, remember, you're just going to keep it a secret. Begin to introduce the routines, rhythms, and rules to your kids without saying that they are routines, rhythms, and rules. So how do you do that? You do that by seeding the ideas into your conversation, sprinkling in what you want them to do, when, and why, sharing the benefits. You're just sprinkling and guiding them. After they've had some initial success in these areas, meaning that they are following routines, anticipating their next steps, they're participating in the rhythms, they're honoring the rules, after they start to experience some success with this and also experiencing the benefits that come with that, so less stress at home, less scrambling, they're getting to school on time, and let's face it, mom's going to be much nicer since things are going to start going a bit smoother at home too, right? So after they feel some of that success, call a family meeting for a Sunday night. I always suggest starting on a Sunday night. Most kids associate the next day, Monday, with a fresh start. And Sunday night is also the first school night of the week, so it actually is a fresh start for them. And just keep in mind, the younger the child, the shorter the meeting. Come to the meeting prepared with your routines, rhythms, rules, and rewards already written out. Tell them that you've been thinking about how well things are going, that you want to start rewarding them for their excellent behavior. Then begin to go through, in order, just like we did, the routines, rhythms, and rules. But you're not telling them, you're asking them about each part. All along, you're basically guiding them to the routines, rhythms, and rules that you've already mapped out. But be open-minded to what they have to say. It's possible that they come up with suggestions you hadn't considered, but are okay with. Have them come up with rewards with your guidance that they would like to earn for following the routines, rhythms, and rules. The most important thing is that they believe that they are the ones creating the reward system based on routines, rhythms, and rules that they just helped you create. Remember, you're just guiding them to your answers, but they're going to feel like they came up with the whole idea, which is what you want, because they're much more likely to follow a system that they helped create, right? So I hope that you are excited to implement my proven proprietary system with your family, because it's absolutely life-changing. You could follow these steps on your own, but if you want to fast track your success, and maybe you're thinking that you may want my help with this, let me share some quick highlights about the 28-day stress-free family system. It takes you step by step and makes it so easy for you so you can begin enjoying the calm, relaxed, peaceful home you want right away. In the program, we start with creating effective routines customized for your home. I'm going to teach you how to train your child's brain to anticipate their next logical step in their routines. You'll learn to strategically arrange and implement their routines in a way that they naturally become automatic. A lot of moms waste time and energy on inefficient mornings and dragged out bedtime routines that just do not work. And when they give up, they miss out on the power of what really great routines can do for them. But when you provide your kids with routines customized for them and train them in this very particular way, their routines become instinctive. And you know what that means? No nagging and no yelling. No more morning chaos or stressed out bedtimes. Your children will know what to do and when. When you roll out your routines to your kids, the rollout is just as important as the creation of the routines. How you introduce the new routines to your children is integral to their success. And I'm going to make this so easy for you. This is going to bring an immediate change in your home and get you some peace and ease right away. In Rhythms, I'm going to give you my step-by-step process for creating those rhythms that will make your life so effortless. And I even give you my 3 rhythms that I use in my home that most of the moms I work with end up using in their home too, because they're just so effective. Then we're going to go deep into creating rules. I'll teach you how to choose rules that are the most important and impactful for you, your home, and your kids, and how to integrate them into your life. I'll show you how to weave your core principles and values into character building rules for your kids. This is all about expectations and consistency and is going to be so important in their life. By the end of rules, you'll define your very own list of rules that will govern the behavior in your home. And all throughout, I'm pulling back the curtain and sharing exactly what I do in my own home. After we've gotten the routines, the rhythms, and the rules handled, you're going to need a way to motivate them to follow the system, right? So in the rewards module, you'll learn the best way to motivate your children to do what you tell them to do and to behave well, all without nagging, yelling, or empty threats. Your children will get to practice accountability while having fun. I'm going to guide you in creating a system of rewards and consequences that specifically works for your unique family, that will incentivize your children to want to do what they're supposed to be doing. And this is not about stickers, candy, or money. That doesn't work. Designing an effective reward system can be complicated, but I'm going to break it down and make it so much easier for you. And once I teach you how to do this, your life is never going to be the same. You're going to use your reward system every day going forward. Once you have your foundation set, it's a part of you forever. I'm over 10 years into this. When moms see me, they think that I am a together mom. But the truth is, it's not me. It's the system. This didn't come naturally to me. I wasn't born this way. Without the stress-free family system, my home, my kids, my life would be in complete chaos. My patience would run thin. I'd be overwhelmed and out of control. With the stress-free family system, I get to look, act, and feel like a together mom. I'm calm and relaxed. My kids are happy and well-behaved, and everything is easy. And I say this all the time. When things are easy and relaxed at home and my kids are behaving well, that leaves a lot of room for fun. And these results can be replicated in all types of homes. Stay-at-home moms, 2 working parents, single parents, working moms, whether you're single, married, divorced. Even if you have 6 kids, I know that the fundamentals will work for you too. You can learn to do this and live stress-free too. And I will walk you through how to get your children to follow along. I show you how to gently guide them into the system. I tell you exactly how to do that. I model the entire thing for you. And then when we get to revolutionize, that's the last module, I coach you on how to run your family meeting in a way that makes this whole system their idea. Your kids are going to be much more interested in following a system they helped create, right? And that they're already seeing success with. They'll see how easy it is to get rewarded. Again, I model the entire meeting for you from beginning to end so you know exactly what to say. I make this super simple for you. Listen, one of the things that really sets me apart from others out there is that I struggled through the very same things that you're going through. I was right there. I know exactly where you are and what that feels like. And I also know the better version of you, of your home. With this system, I have tons of energy. I love parenting. The day-to-day stuff is easy and relaxed and stress-free. In my program, I show you exactly what I did for myself and so many others so you can have a stress-free family too. You know, before I had kids, I had this vision of the mom I was going to be, the way my home would be, the type of home that I wanted to raise my kids in. And I don't know what happened, but after I had kids, that vision got away from me really quickly. And I didn't feel like I was a good mom. I felt like a bad mom, and my home was almost like the polar opposite of the home that I wanted to be raising my kids in. That's why I made this system. so that I could be the mom I wanted to be and raise my kids in the home I really wanted to raise my kids in. And now I teach it to other moms. But it all started with me needing a system in my home. I was where you are. I was winging it and trying to make it work. I spent 6 years winging it, struggling and scrambling and feeling overwhelmed. I did all of it, trying one thing after another and trying to jimmy together a solution. And nothing worked because nobody out there is teaching this. I know how hard it is to wing it. And that's why if you do decide to keep winging it, at least for now, at least you have the framework. I've given you the roadmap. The 5 parts of the system in order are routines, rhythms, rules, rewards, and revolutionize. So if you want to get started relieving the stress in your family and work towards a calm, relaxed, peaceful, stress-free family, now you have the blueprint for the stress-free family system. Now, if you want my help, let me tell you the 2 ways I can support you and help you create and implement the stress-free family system in your own home. The first is the stress-free family system, which walks you step by step and teaches you how to systematically remove the stress in your home and show you how to create the foundation for your family that will give you the peaceful, relaxed family life that you want. It's a home learning program, so you can log in when it's convenient for you and it'll be there waiting for you. You'll have lifetime access. You'll be able to pause, stop, rewind. And here's something I'm offering to you today as a special thank you. And it's a $500 bonus. All the templates, all the worksheets, all the word-for-word scripts, so you'll know exactly what to say. All you need to do is plug in your specifics. That's how easy I made it. One of the templates in this bonus that I give you is my tried and true roll out your routine script. Not only do I show you how to do it, I give you the exact words to use that will train them to be able to anticipate their next steps in their routine. So you'll have that script to just plug in your customized routines, and you're going to get all the scripts, all the templates, and all the worksheets. And if you follow along and do the simple, easy steps I lay out for you, your life can be completely different. The second way that you can get my help is to upgrade to the Complete Transformation Solution package. When you choose to upgrade, what that means is that you're going to get 12 months of No Parents Left Behind live Q&A and group coaching calls, where you can run any part of your system by me and get coached on it every month. Imagine 1 year of coaching support while you are creating and implementing your new system. You have a question, you need deeper support, no problem. But there's something else I want to offer you today that's really special that I'm really excited to invite you to. I've decided to create a private membership community called The Village. I know that consistency and accountability can be a big problem for most moms. And I also know that most moms need that ongoing support. So in The Village, you'll be able to post your questions on the day-to-day and get feedback in real time within a community of moms all on the same journey. A lot of moms sort of know what they need to do, but they don't know how to do it or need some support to be consistent once they know what to do. I know how important it is to have that support, to help you with that consistency and to get that accountability and have access to ongoing training. And that's what I want to offer you. As part of the launch of the brand spanking new Village community, when you decide to upgrade and enroll in the Stress-Free Family Transformation Solutions system to get that year's worth of group support, I'm going to give you lifetime group support and membership to the Village. As a founding member for the lifetime of my program, as long as I'm in business, you will never pay a monthly membership fee. You'll have lifetime access to the monthly group calls and to the community for daily support and access to expert training. Every month, every year, for a lifetime, all included. So I just want you to pause for a minute here and imagine how it's going to feel to have that level of support. Not only while you're creating your system, but while you are implementing it, while your kids are growing and changing and new challenges come up for years and years and years afterwards. You're going to be able to get your questions answered in the membership. And you'll have access to me for deeper dive questions on those monthly No Parents Left Behind Q&A events. So you'll have your integrated systems complete and you'll have a clear action plan to move forward that's going to ensure that your home is easy and stress-free. So if you feel like you've tried a million different things trying to piece it all together and wing it, I could tell you, you may have tried a million things, but you've done everything except learn a complete and integrated system. And trying one thing after another is just one more thing to overwhelm you. There's just so much information out there. It's actually paralyzing. All that information, you could go crazy from it, and none of it is complete and integrated. So here's the thing. I could show you the secrets that make the difference. Being a mom is the most exciting and frustrating experience at the same time because kids don't come with any kind of an operational manual. Think of this as your operational manual. Now, I don't want to just send you to a landing page to sign up. I want to make sure that this is the right decision for you. So instead, what I'd like to do is invite you to schedule a free call with me. Ask me your questions. Tell me what's going on in your home with your kids. And let's talk about if the stress-free family system is right for you. You can get on my calendar by going to www.thestressfreefamily.com/yes. So if you're ready for your own stress-free family, there is no time like the present. The sooner you get started, the sooner you get started. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm excited for your transformation and looking forward to speaking with you. Again, it's www.thestressfreefamily.com/yes. And until then, remember, we're all in this parenting thing together. Bye for now.